Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. Today's question is maximum XOR of two numbers in an array. In this question we are given an array of integers. We have to find a pair whose XOR is maximum. For example, we are given an input array of 3, 10, 5, 25 and 2 and 8. In this we have to find a pair of two elements on which we perform XOR operation and take our final maximum answer. So in this case the answer is when we will XOR 5 with 25. So answer will come out to be 28. So now this question is a medium difficulty level. So the brute force approach which comes into mind is we find all the pairs which are possible in this array, and of each pair we calculate the XOR, and the maximum of these XOR we will return it as an answer. But for finding all the pairs, the complexity will be O(n) square, but it is given in the question that we have to try solving it in O(n) time. So now let's look at the approach that how we will solve it in O(n) time. So in this question we will be using a new data structure called trie data structure. What is a trie data structure? A trie data structure is a tree like structure which can have any number of children of a particular node which is possible. So how we will be using a trie data structure in this type of question? What we will do, we have an input array given of integers. Now we will represent each integer in their binary form, like the binary of 3 is 0 0 0 1 1, binary of 10 is 0 1 0 1 0, and so on. So what we will do, we will store these binary representation of numbers in a trie, and then after we have inserted these number, then we will run some queries on the trie and fetch out the result. So now let's look at how we will do it. Now first we have to insert these numbers into a trie. So I have already inserted the binary representation of 3 in the trie. I will tell you how to insert the binary of 10, how we will insert a particular value. So one thing that we have to take into account in this question is that for 0 bit, because bits can be of two types only, 0 and 1. So for 0 bit we will move towards the left in the trie, left of the particular node, and for 1 bit we will move towards the right of a node. That is, in this case 0 0, this bit is 0 and next bit is 1. So we have moved right of this node. So we have encountered a 1. So this thing we have to take into account. So now let's look how we will insert 10 into our trie. So first we will, for every number to be inserted, we will starting from our head of the trie. Now this trie already has 3 in it. Now how we will be inserting 10? So first bit we will take, what is the first bit from left? It is 0. So initially we were at head, we will look at the left of the head because the initial bit is 0. So we will be looking at the left of this head. So if the left of this head exists, that is left exists means 0 exists. So we will do nothing, we will simply move from our head to this node. Now we have moved to this node. Now after this node we have a bit called 1. Now this is our new head node, and now we have to insert 1 in it. So at this node we will check on its right side, because we have 1, so we will check on its right side whether 1 exists or not. So we can see that on the right side 1 do not exist. So we will insert a node here and write 1 in it. So now the work of 1 bit has been over. So now our new head has become this node, that is 1. Now next bit is 0 and we are currently at this node. So we will check whether the left side of this node, whether there exists anything on the left side of this node. Why left side? Because this bit is 0. So and we are on this node, so there is no node on the left side. So here we will insert our 0, and now after inserting 0 we have moved to this node. Now currently we are at this node. Now again there is a next bit is 1. Now we are at this node, we will check on the right side whether there exists any 1 node or not. So there do not exist any 1 node. So we will insert the node of value 1 and move to that node. Now from this node we have came to this node and inserted a value, and now our bit is 0 and we are at this node, we will check whether on the left side 0 exists or not. So 0 does not exist on the left side, so we will insert the value of 0 on the left side, and now from this node we will be coming to this node. So we have inserted 10 in our try. Now for inserting 5, we will again start from head. We will again start from head and do the similar procedure. First is 0, we will go to 0, then is again 0, 0 exists, then we will move to this node because 0 exists. Now comes the 1 and we are at this node. At the right of this node 1 does not exist. So we will form a node and insert a value of 1, and similarly we will be keep doing this task and insert all the numbers in a try. We can see one thing, when this number was inserted and later this number was inserted, so some bits at a position are same, like here it is 0, here it is also 0. So we have not inserted a new 0 in our try, new node of 0 value in our try. We have used the previous 0 node only. So this is the advantage of a try, that we can save a space also. So now once we have inserted all the numbers in a try, a new try has become like this, and this try consists of all the numbers which are present in our array. So now what we have to do? Now what we will do, we will iterate through the array and we will calculate the maximum XOR possible using a particular element at that index. Like when we are traversing through the array and we are at this position suppose, and the value is 10. So we will find out using try maximum possible XOR using 10. Now let's see how we will do that. Now we know the binary representation of 10, that is 0 1 0 1 0. So now when we are checking the maximum XOR using try, what we will do, we will be starting at the head of the try. Now our first element is 0, first bit is 0. So to maximize our answer, we know that when the two bits are different, then only they contribute in our answer, otherwise they are 0 and do not contribute. So for wanting 0 to contribute, we have to look whether there exists 1 or not. Now like we are at the head and the first bit is 0, so we will check in the try whether the first bit is 1 or not. We can see that yes, the first bit is 1. So we will take this 1 into account, because 0 and 1's XOR results in 1. So we will take this bit into account. Now after this bit has been taken into account, we will move from head to this node, and a new head will become this. Now the next bit, since we can see that this was the first bit, and also for taking XOR we have considered first bit only. So this we have to keep in mind, that the first bit of number should correspond to the first level bit of the try. Now our new head is this. Now we have the second bit as 1. So for 1 we have to find 0 in the second level, because second bit is 1. So we have to find the 0 in the second level of the try. So now we are at in the try we are at this node. So we have to find whether 0 exists or not. So we will look at the left of this thing, because 0 is present only on left. If 0 is not present, then this space will be empty. So now we are at this space and we have to find 0. So we can see that this space is empty. This means 0 does not exist. So in this case we will not move towards the right, else we will move towards the left only. So we will have to skip this side. So now we have moved towards right and our work of second bit is over. These two bits are over. Now comes the third bit, that is 0, and now currently we are in try at this node. So now our bit is 0. We have to check whether on the right side of this node 1 exists or not. So we can see that 1 does not exist. So this will also not contribute to our answer, and we will move towards the left, because we are left with no other choice but to move towards left. So now we have moved towards left and we are currently at this node, and the work of first 3 bits are over. Now our new bit is 1, and our current node is 0. So we have to check whether 0 exists on the left side of this node or not, because this, because this bit is also as at fourth position, so we have to check the fourth level of the tree, try. So now we are at the this node, so we have to check whether the on the left side 0 exists or not, and yes, we can see that 0 exists. So XOR of 1 and 0 will result in 1, and this will contribute to our answer. So now once it is contributed to our answer, we will move to this node, that is the left node. Now we are at currently in the try, we are at this node, and the work of these four bits are done, and now the last bit, that is 0. Now we are at this node, and the current bit is 0. So we have to check whether in the try 1 exists or not. So we will be checking at the right side of this node. So we can see that 1 exists. So it is clear that the 1 exists in the try on the right side, and the bit is 0. So it will also contribute to our answer. So now we have moved to this node, and this bit has contributed to our answer, and now the work of all these 5 bits are over, and at every position in which we encountered the XOR equal to 1, we will be using power function to calculate the decimal equivalent which will be added in our answer. So this was how we are supposed to find the XOR. Now this was using 10. Now we have received an answer. We will be using every element to find the XOR like this only, and in the end the which element the XOR which will be maximum will be returned. So now let's look at the code. So now in this question, as I said, we will be using try, and try is a tree like structure. So first we will define a class called try node, and it will contain 2 elements, that is left and right. Left will be for 0 and right will be for 1. So we have made a class called try node, and all the elements are public, so that we can access these elements in next class also. So for finding the maximum XOR, we have to do the 2 steps. First we have to insert all the elements in the try, and the second step is to iterate through our vector, and at every point, at every element, we have to find the maximum possible XOR with respect to that element. So first we will form a try. So we will write a function, that is void helper, no void, it will not be a void, it will return our new head. When we will insert first number, then it will return a new head, and then when we will insert second number, then also our head will be changing, so we will return a new head. Therefore it is try node star. Function name is insert. Now what will be the arguments? First argument will be the number which we have to insert, and the second argument will be the head of the try node, that is next node will be the head. So first what we have to do, we have to insert the number n number bit by bit. Now there are total 32 bits. So first we will find all the bits. For int I equal to 0, oh sorry, 31, I greater than equal to 0, I minus minus. So this loop will give us the bits of the number. So first we will find the current bit, that is first we will find the ith bit in n. So how we will find? Int bit is equal to n right shift by I. Now when we have to find the 31st bit, so what we will do, we have a number and we will right shift that number by 31 and then do its AND with 1. When we will do this step, we will get the bit. If 2 possibilities are that bit is either 0 or bit is either 1. So if bit is 0, bit double equivalent to 0, so what we have to do? If bit is double equivalent to 0, we have to move to our left side. When bit is 0, now like we are at head, now the bit is 0, so we have to move towards the left side. But what if this left side didn't exist? So first we have to check whether the left side exists or not. If left side does not exist, then we have to first make a new node of that value and then move towards left. Like suppose in this case a bit is 1, so from head we have to move towards right side, but there doesn't exist any 1. So first we will insert a node called 1 using 1 value, and then the pointer which was pointing to head will now be pointing to our 1. Then we will be moving towards right side. So see, let we take a pointer which is initially pointing our head node, that is current. Now starting it is pointing at head. Now we have got the bit. If bit is 0, it means we have to move left. Now we will check if left exists or not. If left does not exist, we have to first create a node at the left. Now we have created a node to left. Now once we have created a node, then we have to move to that node. Now our current will be equal to current left. So this was the case. Now when I will explain again, when bit is 0, we have to move towards left side. If the left node does not exist, we first have to form that node and then we have to move to that node. Now if that node exists, then this if condition will not execute and we directly will move to our left node. Now in another scenario, when our bit was 1, we have to move towards right side. Now first we have to check if right node exists or not. If right node does not exist, we first have to form the right node. And then after forming the right node, we have to move to that node. Current is equal to current right. Now after this loop has executed, that is it has executed 32 times, then all the 32 bits of this number will have been inserted in a trie. So after this we have to return our head. Now we are in the main function, from where we have to call this insert function to make our trie. So first what we will do, we will form a head star head is equal to new trie node. Now we have formed our head. Now we have to call the function of insert and insert every number that is present in our vector into that trie. So now we will iterate through our numbers. Return function is head. Now we have to insert, the arguments are head and number, numzi. This is the number which we have to insert and the head. Now our trie is formed. Now what we have to do, we have to find the maximum XOR possible. And how we will do it? We will find the maximum XOR possible using each number. First we will find the maximum XOR possible using 3, then we will be finding maximum possible XOR using 10 and so on. And we will return the maximum of these answers. So first we will write the function which will return our max XOR, int max XOR. This is our function. In this we will be passing our head of the trie node star head and the vector. Now in this we will declare a variable that is called max answer, which will store the max possible answer, and we will initialize it with int min. Now I have told you that we have to find the maximum XOR with respect to each element. Now we will iterate through our array. Now we iterate through our array, and for every number we will take our node. We'll take a node that is try node star current, and it will be initialized with head always for every number. Now we will take the value at that index. Int value is equal to nums of I, and we will also take a variable which will be current XOR, which will store the value of the XOR which is possible with the ith value, and it will be compared with the max XOR, max answer. We will initialize it with 0. Now what we have to do, we have our value, that is, suppose initially the value is 3, we have to find the maximum XOR possible using 3. Now how we will find? We will first iterate through all the bits of our all the bits of 3, that is I minus minus, that is 32 bits. Now find at each position we will find a bit, int bit. The 31st bit of the ith bit of 3 will be given by value right shift of I and 1. Now we have got the ith bit of, using this we have got the ith bit of 3. Sorry, it is not I, it will be j, because it will be j. Sorry, we cannot use I in I. We have got the jth bit of value 3. Now it has two possibilities, either it is 0 or either it is 1. If the bit is 0, if this bit is double equivalent to 0, now in this case we have to form a maximum XOR. So for a bit to be, if a bit is 0, we will have to find the one bit in the right side of the try, so that the XOR of 0 and 1 can become 1. So we have to take this point into notice, that if a bit is 0, we will have to find 1 in the try, and if the bit is 1, we will have to find the 0 in the try, because the XOR of 0 and 1 will give 1, and the XOR of 0 and 0 will give 0. So we have to find the opposite of the bit. So now we have got bit equal to 0, we have to check on the right side whether the 1 bit exists or not. If current right exists, what we will do, when we have found the current right, it means 1 exists. Now we have a bit 0 and right also exists, that is 1 also exists. So XOR of 0 and 1 will give us 1, but that one bit's position will give us the decimal answer, that is the position of this 1 bit will give us 2 in the decimal answer. So for ith bit, the decimal answer will be equal to current XOR plus equal to power of 2 comma j, because it is the jth bit. So jth bit will contribute to the answer with 2 to power j, answer plus equal to 2 to power j. Now bit was 0 and right also exists, so it will contribute to the answer, and we will move towards the right side. Current is equal to current right. Now if the bit is 0 and we do not have a right side on the try, so we are left with no option but to traverse on the left side only. Like in this example, see, we have this try, and suppose at a particular condition we are at a 0th, this bit, we are at this bit. So for making a 1 out of this bit, we have to get a 1 on the right side, but there is no 1 present, so we are left with no choice but to move left only. So in the else part we will move to lefts. So this was the condition when the bit was 0. What if the bit was 1? If the bit was 1, then we have to form a XOR equivalent to 1, we have to move towards the left side. Now if current left exists, we will repeat this step. If the current left exists, then that value will contribute to our current XOR answer, and then we will, once the current XOR answer is updated, and then we will move to our left side. left side. Else, if left side doesn't exist, then we are left with no other option than to move towards right. Now, after this loop is over, these were the only two conditions, when the bit is 0 and the bit is 1, and we are correspondingly calculating our current XOR. Now, when we are done with it, when this loop is over, after the for loop we will be having our answer in current XOR, and we will be comparing our answer with our final max answer, and we will be updating our max answer if current XOR is greater than the max answer. So this will, at this point, after the loop, after this jth loop, the current XOR will contain the maximum XOR possible with the ith element. So after this we will return our max answer. So it will return our max answer in our main function. So we'll return max XOR in our main function. We have to pass the arguments. First is head and other is the array. So guys, there is a small mistake in this code, that earlier I have written only current pointing towards right, but it should be current is equal to current right. So after this, when we will submit, the code will pass all the test cases. So I hope guys you liked the video. Thank you.